Welcome back to Notes from the Progressive Revolution. This is Emilia. I just want to make sure that every time we talk about coronavirus and the government's response to it, we understand the context in which we should be talking about the government's role in this, okay? The other day, I posted something on Facebook about Steny Hoyer saying that that Congress wouldn't meet back in Washington, D.C. until May 5th, barring any emergency. So basically him saying, unless there's an emergency, we're not going to meet back in person in DC until May 5th, which enraged me because I'm like, is there not, are you saying that there's not an emergency happening? All of America is being told to stay inside, lose their job, whatever, economy is tanking, and there's no emergency here? And then someone commented on that going, that's actually misleading. They still may be holding votes before then, but they won't be in person. They'll be, Zooming from afar. And I remember thinking, oh, I mean, I guess maybe that. But then I thought, wait, no. After they passed that first pathetic stimulus bill, I mean, first of all, there were 3 stimulus bills they passed before they recessed for a month, 2 of which were just for corporations and banks. One was included people and small businesses, and all we got was a $1,200 check. Okay. That shit's a slap in the face. And we got higher unemployment benefits. Thank you to Bernie Sanders, who literally had to tear the GOP a new asshole to ask them to just please cover people's wages and give them higher unemployments if they've been laid off due to this crisis. And I feel like the tone that we should take when we talk about the coronavirus and the government's response to it is that look where we are right now. We are all trapped in our homes. We're not allowed to go outside because the government's response was so deeply incompetent. They have now thrust all the responsibility for curbing this virus on the people directly. Okay, it is now on us to keep ourselves safe. They couldn't do anything in terms of prevention. Reports have leaked now that the military knew about literally coronavirus exactly back in 2017, and they had 3 years to prepare us for a pandemic, to shore up our healthcare system, to just make sure that we had the infrastructure in place that should a pandemic hit, we wouldn't all have to lose our jobs, lose our homes, put our entire lives on hold for God knows how long to fight this virus on our own. Like, it's unacceptable where we are right now. The fact that we are here means that the government has already failed drastically and has been failing for years. Like, our infrastructure didn't just suck when Trump became president. For years, they have been cutting away at our social safety net, cutting away at our healthcare, just underfunding every single thing that the public could possibly need to stay healthy should there be some kind of a disaster, okay? And instead of using that time from when they knew about the coronavirus to today to shoring up our systems and making sure that we had the things that we needed to survive, they instead gaslit us for years, telling us, no, we don't want universal health care. No. We don't like that. We want our private insurance, the exact private job-given insurance that everybody is losing because they're losing their jobs right now because we're shutting down the economy. Instead of using that time to serve the people who elected them, they use that time to gaslight us into this lull where we didn't think that we should or could ask for more. Ask for a more robust social safety net. Ask for more support so that when this happens, we don't feel like we're on our own. I just want to make sure that, like, anytime that we talk about what Congress has done or will done, we already know that it is a failure. They have failed. They have already failed. Okay, even if they pass which progressives are fighting for right now, even if they make sure that we get $2,000 a month every single month until the end of this crisis and a rent freeze, if they did that and a rent and mortgage freeze and made sure and gave us free healthcare, I mean, that is the bare minimum that we need to feel like we are going to survive this thing. That is the bare minimum that we need. Until they do, I mean, and even if they do that, it is still an outrageous failure that we are here right now in the way that other countries economies have not tanked in the same way that ours has tanked. Okay, this incredibly high unemployment rate, the fact that people are being dying in outrageous numbers because our healthcare system is insufficient. Those were all policy choices. Okay, they chose that because they served their donors, and the donors were like, no, you know what, it's actually not profitable to stockpile all these ventilators. It's actually not profitable to just have all these things available just in case there's a pandemic. That doesn't serve us. That's us spending a lot of money just for the people, and we don't care about the customer. We care about our profits. We care about our shareholders. Like we care about our money. And that's what happens when a government exists to serve the people. The government is up by and for the people. Okay, and instead of being for the people, it's literally for corporations right now. Okay, we just have to, let's acknowledge that. That is why what is happening is happening. It's not because this is what we want. Okay, people, we don't want this. We've been told that maybe we want this. We've been told that maybe this is the best system, but that's gaslighting. Okay, that's propaganda. Okay, we don't want this. What we want, what I know I want, is I would like to still be able to have an income during this. I would still like to have money coming in during this time, even though it's impossible for me to work right now. Okay, because they fucked up, the government completely fucked up, and now our economy doesn't work at all. Okay, now it's all ground to a halt. They have asked an unprecedented thing of us, for us all to just put our entire lives on hold and stay in and just stop everything, don't see anybody that we love, stay inside, and we're all doing that. Americans are doing an unprecedented act of solidarity right now, and it is because of us that the curve is being flattened and going down in some areas. We are doing our job, and they can't even meet us halfway to make sure that we feel safe in the home we've been confined to. They can't even make sure that we have $2,000 a month, bare minimum. They are still charging us rent, even though we don't have money coming in. How can you expect people to be able to pay their rent if they don't have money coming in? How can you expect us to be safe if we feel like not only we can't pay our rent, not only do we have no money coming in, but if we get sick, we won't be able to afford our care? How do you expect people? And the anger that I'm feeling and showing right now, this is for our government. This is not for anybody else. If you are not in our government, I am not talking to you. I am not insulting the people that are out there protesting to open the economy back up. Some of them are being paid to be there. Okay, like this is some like bullshit Tea Party thing, billionaire funded thing, where like a lot of people are out there, and this has been documented. Read The Guardian, read Vox. I mean, don't read Vox usually, but some every now and then Vox has a good article. Okay, same with Vice, Vox and Vice, LOL. But I'm not even, for the people that were out there that weren't being paid to be out there, I'll be honest, I'm not angry at them. I'll be honest, I'm not fully angry at Trump supporters. I feel bad for them, man. They are in a cult. And you know the way to get people out of a cult is not to shame them, not to call them every name in the book. It's to show them compassion and understanding. And right now, we are in a place where people are being told to stay home. They're losing their jobs. They're still being charged rent. They don't have health care right now. They're afraid if they get sick, they won't be able to pay their health care. And this is a recipe for a mental health disaster. So if there's some people who have such loyalty to capitalism, okay, who have been brainwashed into believing that our system is great, that America is the best country in the world, instead of doubting America, they would rather put their lives on the line so that they can still work their job that they love, that they feel dignity in for some reason, and fight to go back to work. I mean, it's the wrong call. It's not helpful, but understand where these people are coming from. They have been failed by their educational institutions, our educational institutions. They have been failed by the media that lies to them all the time. They have been failed by their government that lies to them all the time. They've been failed by every institution in this country, in our country. It's our society. I think another thing that we have to stop doing is when other people are acting in a way that we don't like, to shit on them and take no responsibility for it. Like, this is our society. When there's homeless people on the street, that's on all of us. Those are people. Those are humans just like us that this society let fall through the cracks. Okay? There is no one else to be angry at but our leaders. And the sooner that we understand that, the sooner that we understand that currently we all should be so angry right now that we just kick all these elected officials out of office. Every single last one. Every single one that is taking money from corporations, we should all be voting them out right now. That is the only logical thing to be doing. But the reason that we're not doing it, the reason that we keep voting for people that are taking corporate money, every vote for someone that's taking corporate money is a vote against our self-interest. And the only reason people do things against their own self-interest is because for some reason they believe that it is in their self-interest. People act in their own self-interest. They act what they think is their own self-interest. And the fact that so many people don't see the clear road to what their own self-interest is evidence that our institutions are failing us, not our people. Okay, let's stop blaming ourselves. Let's stop getting mad at people who take a walk with their loved one on the beach just for like a brief mental health break after all the shit that they have going, like all the shit that they have to stress about. Let's stop getting angry at those people and instead get angry at the government that has put people in such a terrible place that they need to take a walk outside just to maintain sanity and sure, risk their lives doing so. Like that's the place that we're in. People would rather risk their lives and walk outside just for a brief mental health break because the government can't give them anything. The most we can get is a walk outside that, again, we give ourselves, and we still are shitting on each other for it. Let's just remember who the enemies here are, okay? The enemies are the 1% and our elected officials, and they're not our fellow Americans, and we got to be showing each other love and compassion. And I'm not perfect at it. I'm not perfect at it. You could hear in my tone right now that like I get angry sometimes. We all got to work to be better. Me too. But the goal to strive for, and I'm not saying I'm there, is to be loving and compassionate to all of our fellow voters. Voters and non-voters alike, because we're going to turn them non-voters into real voters, you know what I'm saying? And only love and compassion can do that.